I think you guys did quite well on your test, so congratulations. That is really, really, really hard stuff. So we're moving on to geometry, which is a big unit, but I think you'll find that it's, we're going to use a lot of algebra in it. It's solving equations, which is kind of easy. And the hard thing about geometry is new words. Okay? Here's your test question. Go ahead and get started on that. And the code is on there. So vocabulary is a big thing in geometry. You're going to learn a lot of new words. And there's a lot of precision that we have to be careful of in geometry, okay? We never assume things. Everything is very specific, okay? So we do a lot of drawing of pictures, but it's kind of nice, all right? So today, we want to be able to classify angles and solve problems using measures of angles. And so here we have a picture of an angle, and it's made up of a couple of parts. So the parts of an angle is formed by two rays with a common end point. And so what we have here, this is our common end point B, and this is a ray. It starts with that initial endpoint, and then it goes away from there, and it has an arrow on one end. And so that's an example of a ray. This common endpoint is called the vertex. So right here, this endpoint that my two rays have in common is called the vertex. And this is the point on the angle where it sort of opens up. It sort of swings open. It's sort of the hinge point, okay? So where it hinges and changes and grows, that's the vertex. So where it's opening up from. All right. The rays are called the sides of the angle. So this is a side of the angle, and over here is another side of the angle. And so it's really, really important that you can recognize it has two sides and that vertex in between the two sides. And that's sort of where that angle opens up from. We have a symbol for an angle, which is a sort of, that's an angle. That's the symbol we use. Sometimes you'll see it like this. This is another sort of symbol that is a pretty common symbol, where it's sort of a slanty sort of L with a, crosshatch, I don't know, anyway. But we usually just use this little slanty sort of L shape, but that is our symbol for angle. And angles are typically named using three letters, three capital letters. Very important, three capital. Do you know what capital means? Yeah. In this case, yeah? Okay, I said that one time, and people were like, what is capital? Like, uppercase? And they're like, oh, they've never heard capital letter before. I don't know. So have you heard capital letter? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, great. So three capital letters. So this is one thing in geometry we're a little bit anal retentive about. Have you heard that word before? We get all huffy. We want it a specific way. All right, very specific. So we use capital letters when we're talking about points. And we have three capital letters here, so you need to write things down with capital letters. The middle letter must always represent the vertex. So when we're naming an angle, the middle letter must be that vertex. And in this case, it would be a B. Angles can also be used naming just the vertex if it's the only angle there, to avoid confusion, all right? So if I wanted to name this angle, I would name it angle. So there's my little angle there. I could name it angle ABC, Why is the B in the middle? Because it's the vertex. So is there another way that I can name this angle? CBA. Very good. Angle CBA is another way we could name this particular angle. All right. And because it's the only angle, I could also call it angle B. It's pretty specific. When referring to the measure of an angle, use a lowercase m. So angles have measures. For instance, what's the angle that starts like this but opens like this? 90-degree angle, right? So they have a measure. And so that's the measure we give that angle that is straight up like that. It's a 90-degree angle. So for example, this angle, it has a measure here. Hello. Whose birthday is it? I'm not cool enough to know. Miss Hardy is super amazing at that. I'm not that awesome. Happy birthday. And another. Happy birthday. You guys are lucky you're in a small school and they can do sort of stuff like this. My school had 2,500 kids in it. My school was as big as this whole town. So, yeah, that's crazy. All right, so this angle, what's the measure of this angle they gave us? 60 degrees. Yeah, that's the degree symbol. It's telling us the measure of the angle. So for this particular angle, I could write the little m, and that little m says measure of angle ABC. So this we would read this as the measure of angle ABC equals 60 degrees. And it is really important that you use this degree symbol. All right, it's there for a reason. It's really important. Okay, if it's not there, 60 means something entirely different. Okay, so that degree symbol is huge. We have a couple different types of angles. We already talked about one. This angle right here. I'm going to put my little arrows on it. How many degrees is this angle? 90 degrees. And it looks like it. Now, it's really important in math that we understand there's this little box we can put in the corner. And this little box is very, very important. Have you seen a little box like that before? Yeah? Good. That little box is, again, more notation. That means it is a 90-degree angle. And that's super duper important. Is there a name for this angle? Do you know a name for this angle? Right. A right angle. Very good. This is a right angle. And it is equal to 90 degrees. All right? So that's really good that you guys know that. Do you know another kind of angle? Acute. Yeah, a little cutie pie. Little cutie pie angle here. Here we have a little cute angle. What does it mean when we have an acute angle? Yeah, an acute angle is just a little cutie that is less than 90 degrees. So it might be 37 degrees or 22 degrees, but it is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse is another one. Very good. Yeah, we have an obtuse where it's a little fatty. This is the obtuse angle, OBTUSE. And an obtuse angle means what? Greater than 90 degrees. Yeah. I'm going to say more than, because it's shorter. More than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle, just a little fatty angle. And then there's one more kind of angle. Do you know? Straight angle is the one I was looking for. Yep, a straight angle. So a straight angle looks like this. All right, we got a straight angle there. Oh, that's called a straight. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. There's a straight angle. How many degrees is a straight angle? 180. Very good. How do we know that it's 180 degrees? What if I drew in a little imaginary right angle right here? 90 plus 90. Very good. So yeah, if I have if I draw in a 90-degree angle on one side, then I know it must have a 90-degree angle on the other side. And what's 90 plus 90? 180. All right. So a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. All right. So these are the three types of angles we have. So let's do a little bit of practice real fast here. Well, example 1, name the vertex of the angle. So in this picture in example 1, what's our vertex? K is our vertex. Yes, use capital letter K. What are the sides of the angle? Yeah, very good. I mean, in fact, you even said that correctly. The sides are rays, and so I'm going to give you a little bit more notation now. The ray has an initial point here at the vertex. It starts at K, and then it extends forever through L. So we're going to write it starts at K, extends through L, and then we have a special symbol that we use for a ray that is, it starts at K and it extends through L, so the arrow points to the right. So that's the symbol for a ray. Now there's another side. What's the other side on this angle? KJ, very good. And again, it starts here at K. That's its initial point, its starting point, and then it extends through J. So it starts at K and extends through J, and that arrow always points to the right. So we have special notation, and I want you to pay attention to that special notation. We want to give 3 ways to name this angle. What's one way to name this angle? Yeah, angle JKL. What's another way to name that angle? LKJ, very good. Angle LKJ, and that is an angle symbol. Angle, all right. Why is the K in the middle? Vertex, because it's the vertex. What's one more way we could name it? Angle K. Yep, angle K would be just fine as well. What classify this angle? What would you call this angle JKL? Obtuse, very good. It definitely appears to be bigger than 90 degrees. All right, example 2, name the vertex of the angle. R. R is the vertex. It's sort of the hinge point of that angle, all right? Name the sides of the angle. So one side is right here, all right, and it's a ray. It starts at R and passes through S, so RS, and there's a little ray arrow on top. What's the other side going to be called? RQ, yeah. So RQ, it starts at R and it extends because of the arrow. It keeps going through Q. So it starts at R and keeps going through Q. So again, make sure you have those little arrows on top. They're super important. What's one way to name this angle? SRQ. R has to be in the middle because it's the vertex. So it's another way to name this angle. QRS. QRS. And the third way? Angle R would be fine because it's just the vertex will work there as well. Classify the angle. Right angle. Very good. And how do we know it's the right angle? It's got the little box right there. That is the 90-degree box. All right. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. All right, I need a calculator. You guys are gonna need a calculator. Okay. So we have some different kinds of problems now, figuring out angle measures. So number 1 says, the measure of angle A is 12x minus 5 degrees. That's kind of weird. If x equals 9, find the measure of angle A and then classify the angle. So they gave me x equals 9. What do you suppose I should do with x equals 9? What'd you say? Plug it in, yeah. Always. X equals 9. So I have a number for x, and I'm just it wants me to plug it in. And so I can do 12, and we're going to plug in the 9. So I'm going to use my parentheses, minus 5. What is 12 times 9? Oh, yeah, it is. That's right. 108 minus 5 is 103 degrees. All right. That is the measure of angle A. If it's 103 degrees, what kind of angle is that? Obtuse. Very good. How do you know it's obtuse? Because it's bigger than 90. Excellent. All right. Let's look at number 3. The measure of angle H is 14 minus 2x degrees. If x equals negative 6, find the measure of H, then classify the angle. What do you suppose we need to do? Yeah, they're giving us a number for x. What should we do? Plug it in. So really the only thing we can do. So circle that, and we're going to plug it right in. Because it says the measure of angle H. Oh, that's a notation. The measure of angle H is, and math means equals. So I can write 14 minus 2, and in place of my x, we're plugging in a negative 6. Can I put this whole thing in my calculator? Yeah. 14 minus 2, parentheses, negative 6. And I get 26 degrees. 26 degrees. Classify that angle. Acute. Very good. How do we know it's acute? Yeah, since it's less than 90 degrees. Very good. Okay, so some of your questions, all we have to do is fill in, plug in the number. All right, that's nice. Let's look at number 4. I need you to write this one in. Number 4, the measure of angle Q. The measure, if you want to write it over here on the side, you can do that as well. The measure of angle Q is 5x minus 15 degrees. But also, angle Q is a right angle. On this one, they're asking us to find the value of x. So on number 4, I need you to write that in. I'll give you a second to write that down. On this one, they're asking us to find the value of x. Let's see. I know angle Q is 5x minus 15 degrees. And it's also a right angle. Tell me about a right angle. It's 90 degrees, yeah? 90 degrees. So this degrees should be equal to what? 90, yeah. That's what they're telling us. That angle Q is 90 degrees. So I want to take this little algebraic expression and set it equal to 90 degrees. And what's this? What are we able to do now? Can I solve this? Yeah. So this is going to help us figure out what x is. Noah, did you have a question? Oh, you already know. Okay, good. So how are we going to solve for x here? What should we do? Add the 15. Alrighty. So I'm going to add 15 and add 15. And so I get 5x equals 105? Yeah. Okay. And then how do I get x by itself? Divide by 5, divide by 5, and it's a little bit smushy, but what we get, x is 21. All right? 105 divided by 5 is 21. So sometimes they're going to give us the number, we just have to plug it in. And sometimes we have to create an equation, all right, based on vocabulary. Let's look at number 6 real faster. On number 6, it says, if the measure of angle H, and again, you should probably write this down because you're going to see something similar in your little homework today. If the measure of angle H is 6x plus 18 degrees, and angle H is a straight angle, find the value of x. Since it's telling us we have to find the value of x, we have to set up an equation that we can solve, so we can solve for x. So where's the vocabulary word here? Straight angle. All right. Tell me about this straight angle. 180 degrees. Very good. So can I write some sort of equation? What should I write? What do we know about angle H? Yeah, here's something we know. We know 6x plus 18 is the amount of degrees it has. But we also know it's a straight angle. So what should I set this equal to? 180, sure. So 6x plus 18 equals 180. And how do we solve? Subtract 18 from both sides. So I get 6x equals, what's 180 minus 18? 162. Okay. And then what should we do? Divide by 6. All right. And so we get x equals 27. All right. Is that right? 162 divided by 6. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Do you have questions so far? Is this pretty easy so far? All right. Just knowing vocabulary. Okay. Let's look at number 5. We're almost done. Number 5, it says the measure of angle angle C. The measure of angle C is 19x minus 3 degrees. And the measure of angle D is 8x plus 10 degrees. If the sum of the measures is 115 degrees. If the sum, what does sum mean? Addition, yeah, sum means add them up. If the sum of the measures is 115 degrees, find the measure of each angle. All right, what do you suppose we're going to do to figure this one out? What am I going to sum? What am I going to add together?
Oh, the 2 angles?
Yeah, the 2 angles. The sum of the angles. So here's one angle. It was 19x minus 3. And I'm going to add it to, I'm going to sum it up. What's the other angle? 8x plus 10. So I'm summing my 2 angle measures. And it says it should equal, means equal. What should it equal? 115. All right. Do you have questions on how we set that up, or is that pretty okay? All right. Again, this is all just math vocabulary. Sum means add, right? All right. Is means equals. And if you know that bit, that's not too bad. What do you suppose we should do here? Combine like terms. I love that. 19x's plus 8x's is 27x's. And then I have a negative 3 and a positive 10. Who wins? Positive by 7. Great. That equals 115. What should we do next? Subtract 7, subtract 7. So I have 27x equals 108. And then what should we do? Divide 108 divided by 27. 4. So we're going to divide by 27, and we get x equals 4. Now we found the value of x. Is that what it wanted to know? No, it didn't. It didn't ask us to find the value of x. I had to find the value of x. But it says, hey, what's the measure of each angle? So what do you suppose I need to do with my number for x now? Yeah, so it tells me the measure of angle C is 19x minus 3. So I got to take my value and plug it back in. So 19, plug in the 4, and subtract 3. Can I put that whole thing in my calculator? Yeah. That makes life really nice, doesn't it? Let's see. So 19, plug in the 4, and subtract 3. And I get 73 degrees. And this is a lot of geometry, just taking your answer and plugging it back in. Here we have the measure of angle D. So the measure of angle D is 8. And we're going to, again, plug in our 4 and add 10. What's that become? Yeah, 32 plus 10 is 42 degrees. So these are our two answers that we were looking for. So a lot of times you got to go and plug them back in to make sure you finish that section up. Okay? Do you have questions so far? All right, last thing here. I just want you to be really good on the homework, okay? That's why. All right, this one, number 8. Number 7 and 8 are very, very similar, but number 8 is a little bit harder. The measure of angle R is 3 degrees less than twice the measure. Oh, goodness. Never mind. I don't want to do this one. Nope, I don't want to do both. We're good. We're going to call it. I think that is good enough. What? On the worksheet? You're always allowed to work with your neighbor.